Austria. When you hear that name, you probably think of majestic Alps, classical music, grand imperial palaces, and a deep, rich European history. But have you ever stopped to wonder why is it called Austria? What does that name actually mean? And how did a small borderland on the edge of an empire grow to become one of the most powerful forces in history? Today, we read traveling back more than 1,000 years to uncover the true origin of Austria as name, its transformation through the centuries, and the incredible history that shaped modern Europe. This isn't just the story of a name. This is a story of power, borders, empires, and identity. Long before the name Austria was ever spoken, this land was home to ancient civilizations. Around 400 BC, Celtic tribes flourished here. Later, the mighty Roman Empire conquered the region and called it part of Noricum. The Romans built roads, cities, and forts, leaving their mark on the landscape. But when the Roman Empire collapsed, chaos followed. Europe plunged into the Dark Ages. Germanic tribes, Slavs, and Avars moved in, and the borders of kingdoms were constantly shifting. This land had no single, clear name. It was simply a frontier, a land of constant change and conflict. The real story of Austria's name begins in the year 996 AD, in an official document issued by the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III. A mysterious word appeared for the very first time: Ostarrîchi. This is the earliest recorded name of what we now call Austria. The word comes from Old High German. Ostar means east, and Riki means realm or kingdom. So Ostarrîchi literally meant the Eastern realm. But eastern of what, exactly? At the time, this region formed the eastern border of the vast Holy Roman Empire. The empire was under constant threat from Magyar invasions and raids from other eastern tribes. It needed a buffer zone, a military frontier to protect its heartland. This border zone was known as a march, and Austria was specifically called the Eastern March, or Marca Orientalis in Latin. Its purpose was simple: to defend the empire. And its name, the Eastern Realm, reflected that crucial role perfectly. As the centuries passed, languages evolved. German speakers continued using variations of Ostarrîchi, which eventually became Sterreich, the name for Austria in German today. Meanwhile, Latin scholars translated the name into Austria. Now, here's an important fact. The name Austria has absolutely nothing to do with Austral or the concept of the South, even though it sounds similar. That's just a coincidence of language. By the 12th century, Austria had become the official Latin name used in royal documents, on maps, and in church records across Europe. The name was here to stay. Then, in the year 1278, everything changed. A powerful family, the Habsburgs, took control of Austria. This was a turning point in world history. Through strategic marriages, clever diplomacy, and sometimes brutal wars, the Habsburgs began to expand their rule far beyond this small eastern realm. Over the next few centuries, Austria transformed from a simple borderland into the very heart of a vast and powerful empire. At its peak, the Austrian Empire, ruled by the Habsburgs, was immense. It controlled not only modern-day Austria, but also Hungary, the Czech lands, parts of Italy, and at one point, even Spain and its overseas colonies. The name Austria was no longer just a geographical location. It became synonymous with royal power, imperial grandeur, and the might of the Habsburg Dynasty. In 1867, the empire was restructured and became the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a dual monarchy that stood as one of the great powers of Europe. But with great power came great tension. The empire was a patchwork of different ethnicities, languages, and cultures, and the rise of nationalism led to ethnic conflicts and political instability. Still, through it all, the name Austria remained a symbol of tradition, authority, and European dominance. Until one event changed everything. In 1914, the assassination of an Austrian archduke triggered the start of World War I. By 1918, the war was over, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire had collapsed. The empire was gone, shattered into a collection of new, independent nations. Austria was reduced to a small republic, a shadow of its former imperial self. But the name Austria survived. Even without an empire, the identity of the nation lived on. Today, Austria is a peaceful, prosperous European nation, famous for its contributions to music, culture, and international diplomacy. It serves as a bridge between Eastern and Western Europe, a role that echoes its ancient origins. Its name still reminds us of its original purpose, the Eastern Realm, a name born from borders, defense, and over 1,000 years of incredible history. So, why is it called Austria? Not because of its stunning mountains, not because of Mozart's timeless music, and not because of its snowy winters. It's called Austria because over 1,000 years ago, this land stood at the very edge of an empire, the Eastern Kingdom that defended a continent, and went on to shape the course of European history. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us as we explore more hidden stories behind the names of the world's countries. Thanks for watching.